G'day guys, Pete Moriarty here. Great to have you here. Today we're going to be talking about culture code and how you can make sure that you and your team are staying connected culturally as you are working remotely. This is really important not only for businesses that want to work remotely all the time, but just anyone who is a business owner who doesn't want to be chained to the office. You might want to do the kid run in the afternoon and then work from home for a couple of hours, or maybe you want to take a few more holidays, or maybe you even want to completely switch off for a week at a time and have some distance from the business. Well, you're going to make sure that the business and the team are actually going to run without you. So let's jump into our 5 culture tips. This is the culture code, what you must get right. And number one, this is kind of like my overriding tip for you guys. It's not really a tip, but it's my overriding strategy, is that if you're working remotely and you're working apart from your team members, whether that's temporarily or on a permanent basis, the most important thing that you can do, manage the team as if you were in one place. And what that means is everything that you do culturally, everything that you do to make sure that your team are well aligned, everything you do to make sure your team are well supported, you need to make sure you do all of those things, but find a way of doing them remotely. Now, some of these are going to need some tweaks, and that's where I'm going to be sharing the practical things that we actually do for each of those. So without further ado, let's jump into the first one. So the first one is making sure you've got your values, your mission, and your vision together. Now, it's pretty easy to say that, right? And in the corporate world, you have perseverance and what's the other one? Integrity up on the wall, right? But that's not how a performing business does vision and mission. Vision and mission should actually be a part of your culture. It's what attracts team members to your team, and it's what repels the people who are not the right people for your team. And so making sure you do this for your company is absolutely critical. Now, how do we do this when we're remote? Well, we actually do this in our team get-togethers, when we have a virtual conference, when we have everyone working together online. We actually do this using Google Jamboard. So this is one of our Jamboards that we created for one of our team get-togethers. This was called Genius the Game. We always have a theme for each one of our conferences or virtual conferences, and that really kind of gets everyone on the same page with that Rockefeller Habits idea of having a quarterly theme for everything. So I'm going to go through my Jamboard here, but I want to show you some of the cool stuff we did. Oh, by the way, we've got some amazing artists in the in the company. All right, I want to go find the vision stuff. Cool. All right, so we went through and we drew out the vision on the Jamboard. The most important thing of this exercise, of course, that this is an opportunity for everyone in the company to actually participate in the vision and participate in building out the culture that we want to build, making sure that everybody has a say. Super, super duper important. So we've got here the vision that we all came up with everybody's input, and then we basically let everyone draw and add their little bits and pieces that they thought was a part of this. Now, there's not really much here that's all that literal, although we did have some pretty cool kind of pictures that got thrown in there. This one I like is one of our ones around values, although I think that was version 1.0. This is the updated one around our values, which are grouped in 3 themes: 10x thinking, service plus one, and team. And the guys really had some fun with that. So you can see the Jamboard is a great little tool for that. We even went through and went into a little bit more depth here. And so, about what it is that our company means, what it is that our culture means. So super important for the team. So getting aligned on your vision, mission, values is your number one, to make sure that you have all of the team operating nicely and comfortably together. Cool. Okay. So number 2 in the culture code is one-on-ones and co-working. Now, one-on-ones are the little conversations and chats that you usually have with team members when you're in a physical office. If you're, like, let's say, sitting in a meeting room one-on-one, or you go for a walk down to the coffee shop, and it's the idle chit-chat that you would normally have with a colleague or co-worker that you just don't quite get to do when you're working remotely. Even if you've got like a water cooler chit-chat thread, which we highly recommend in your instant messaging chat app, you may still miss out on the opportunity to just check in with someone and say, hey, how you going? How's your weekend? How's your husband or your wife or your partner or your dog or whatever? And kind of check in and just kind of do a little bit of a test and see where people are at. Now, everyone's got stuff going on for them in some way or another in life. It's not always bad stuff. They may be really happy with where things are at the moment, and that's great as well. But you want to make sure that you're actually connecting with your team members and actually getting a feel, connecting on a human level to make sure that you're operating as a team rather than just people who are showing up to Google Meet or Zoom calls. And so finding ways to facilitate one-on-ones is super important when you're working remotely. We do this once a fortnight, so each manager will have a one-on-one call with each team member on their team, and they will actually check in on those notes. They'll actually check those notes into HR. Now, it's not about like controlling or like, report to me what you've been up to or anything like that, just to make sure that they do it, number one. But number 2, if the team member mentions, hey, like I've got some shit going on with my family at the moment, or, I don't know, maybe money's kind of tight, or, I'm a little bit worried about what's going on in the world, and that person maybe needs a little bit of extra support from someone from an HR perspective, then that's how that's going to actually get filtered up. And so they happen inside. We've got like an Asana task for each team member, which is like their employee file. Notes go in there, and the right people who need to kind of be on a lookout for that will get a message. Now, I get to read every single one of those, which I love, because if I can see that someone needs a little bit of extra support, I can drop them a message, jump on a one-on-one, spend some time with them, which I love doing with the team, and make sure that everything's all right. Sometimes you might be thinking or worrying that someone's not having a good time and they're doing great, or it might be the other way around. You might think everything's fine, but in a one-on-one session, they divulge that actually they need a bit of support. So making sure you're connected is really good. We do a 30-minute meeting once a fortnight. The other one that we have there is co-working, and this one I really love. I did about 6 hours of co-working with my marketing manager Angel today, which we do every Tuesday, and that's basically having one persistent meeting going while you do your own work. So it might be work together, or it might be completely your own work, and you just kind of mute your microphone when you don't want to talk to each other, but when you want to chit chat, you switch it on and you chat. Now, the first time you do this, it's going to be a bit weird because you kind of got to like excuse yourself to get up and go to the toilet, or maybe you pick your nose or whatever, but having that co-working window open and getting that level of comfort with that person by spending 4 or 5 hours with them is a really great way to feel connected, even though you may be physically apart. So absolutely love that one and the co-working. If you are loving these, please write, I'm loving it. Just write that down there in the comments. Loving these. These are awesome. I hope so. Okay, cool. Number 3, personal development. So this is another one to make sure that we check in with the team. We do our what was called performance reviews, but are now personal development sessions with our team members. And we usually do those once every 6 months. Every now and again, we do an extra one each 3 months. And there's something that I read a little while ago, particularly if you're managing millennials and Gen Ys inside your business, and that is that the old school traditional way of doing a performance review once a year and managing your pay raises and your coordination of someone's job role once a year really doesn't work anymore. With your millennial staff, they're used to gaming, and they're used to, let's say, not waiting for delayed gratification. They're used to instant gratification in many areas of their life. And making somebody wait a whole year for a performance review really makes them feel like they're not getting any progress. And so doing performance reviews every 6 months, and possibly even every 3 months if you've got the time to be able to do that as well, gives someone really rapid goals to work towards. But also, even if you took what they would normally get in an annual pay raise and you halved it and you gave that every 6 months, it's actually going to keep someone much more motivated because they can feel the velocity in their improvement. And of course, it's a good way of you giving feedback back and forward. So we're going to be sharing our full agenda for that meeting. There's a very structured agenda that we use for that in our remote work playbook series. And that's private for customers tomorrow. But if you're interested in that, then drop us a message. There's a chat link below and we'll get you hooked up with our agenda for the personal development and feedback session. We do those all the time and they're really great. Okay, number 4, Friday night drinks. You've got to find a way of doing a virtual Friday night drinks. Ours is called TGIT. It's Thank God It's Thursday. I think it's just because the first one was on a Thursday, and so that just kind of carried on. And that's basically our time when we just hang out. So we do this once a fortnight, and everyone jumps on one big Google Meet, and we switch it to gallery view. Thank you, Google, for implementing gallery view in Google Meet so we can see everyone now. And we look at everyone in that call, and we just hang out. We spend about an hour, 90 minutes, and we spend time together doing everything except work. So that might be playing games. It might be our newbies that have joined the company doing a talent show. We force everyone to do a talent show, which is pretty fun, nerve-wracking for them, but we want to make sure they're going to fit our culture. We might go through things like shout-outs for someone who's done great at work, but we try and keep away from any of the work talk. It's really about playing games, spending social time, and having fun together, and just basically doing non-worky stuff. The other thing this is great for is if your team are working at home and all they have between work and spending time with their family is, I don't know, maybe like watching TV or a computer game or something to kind of like switch off. This is a great way of bridging that gap between having your work colleagues and your work time and then having the home family time. This is a nice little in-between of spending some non-work time in a really cool environment. So we've covered Friday night drinks. We use the Jamboard for that. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. This is our one here. Going to go into, this is games night. So you can see we did some Pictionary. Sorry if anybody is offended. Sorry, not sorry. And so we use the Jamboard for this. And basically on our Jamboard, we'll sometimes like cut up squares or use like a Pictionary word generator. I don't think I've got any of the cut up squares on here, but yeah, this is heaps of fun because anyone can use the Jamboard. It's just jamboard.google.com from the web browser, or if you're really clever, then you can go ahead and grab it on your iPad or your phone. And I didn't realize how explicit some of our games were, but you get the idea. Cool, awesome. So let's move on to our last one, celebrating our wins together. This one I really love. This is something that our HR team have been doing, which is a gratitude journal exercise. And we again do this on Jamboard. And so our team have been working through gratitude journals as a challenge internally. And looks like Peter's one's empty. Maybe I didn't get the memo on that challenge. No, looks like they've done group challenges rather than individual. Anyway, yeah, I really love these because it's just a way of connecting the team. One of the things that I've seen popularized in businesses, and my good friend Dal Beaumont has this in his office. Each one of his team members has built a dream board, their own dream board, and actually put it up in the office. So you get an idea of what someone's goals are, what their beliefs are, what they're interested in, what makes them excited. And those dream boards are a way of communicating to the rest of the team what is good for me and what am I aspiring to. And so, if someone ticks off one of the bucket list items on their dream board, then everyone gets to rally behind that and get excited about it. Can't do that when you're remote, obviously, because you can't stick something on the wall and have everyone else see it. So that's where we'll do something like a Jamboard. And we've done dream boards in here as well. I didn't have time to bring up every single one of those. But there is one more that I also wanted to show you, and that is our team baseball cards. And so if you're a newbie and you've just joined a company, right, it can be a little bit scary because you've just walked into a new team of new people, and it's going to take some time to get to know everyone, especially if you're working remotely. And so if you're interested in making sure that your team are connected to each other and learning about their new colleagues quickly as they've joined the company, then let me show you one of the ways that we do that. So this is called our baseball cards, and I'm going to have to go and find them now. I think it's in here. This is in our Google site. Obviously, in our Google site, we want to put all of our, and no, it's not here. I'm going to have to try and find it. Obviously, in our Google site, we have like an onboarding guide. This is where all of our systems and processes and everything in the business is. We've got some stuff on values, our corporate structure and other bits and pieces. Here we go. I found it. Okay. So Meet the Team is where we have all of our baseball cards. So basically each person in the business will put together a baseball card, and we just use Canva for this, and they will put together a card about all the things that are important to them in their life. And, they've got full creative control on what they want to share about themselves. You can see the guys have had some fun here, created some pretty cool stuff. So if they're interested in food, or they're interested in cars or wakeboarding or whatever it is, everyone basically gets their opportunity to communicate who they are and what is it about them that is special. And that's another way of getting everyone used to working with each other. Cool. All right. I think we're on our last one now. I don't know what number we're on, but I know I'm up to my last note. So the last one is celebrating your wins, making sure that everyone is celebrating their wins together, and making sure that everyone is sharing in the excitement and the celebration of achieving things together as a team. Because when you're in an office and you make a big sale, you can ring the bell, or you can dance up and down, or you can high five, but it's a bit different when you're remotely, so you've got to find a way of doing that. So every single day in our chat, and we do this in the main chat in the main company where everyone can see it, we're posting shout outs. So team members who have done well, I'm going to have to go and find one. Here we go. So a customer has rated a ticket with a thumbs up, and all the team jump in there and we'll give that person a shout out, which is pretty cool. And you can see those all day long when the team are doing well. They'll be sharing cool stuff that's going on there. So I really love that. Really important to be shouting out. And the other one that we do is when we have our all hands, which we call T4, Thursdays 4 p.m. That happens once a month. So in that meeting, in that monthly meeting where we get the all hands, the all company together, and we kind of share exactly where we're up to, and have a bit of a cadence for the numbers in the business and the goals towards our strategic plans and all of those kind of things. We have a whole section which is called Genius of the Week. And in that Genius of the Week section, we have each team member pick a company value that we have all agreed that we want to display, and we shout out one of our team members who's been displaying that company value. And I really love that because it's a great opportunity for everybody to share. This is what I appreciate about my colleague here. This is something great that I recognized in them. We tie in the company values, and so there's a bit of structure around there. And of course, we want to make sure that we are celebrating and rewarding the good behavior. We're rewarding the behavior that's in alignment with what we want to see as a team, which is everything is on board and congruent with our company values and who we say we want to be. It doesn't matter what your company values are. All that matters is that you actually agree to them and you stick to them, because there's plenty of different ways of operating, and you need to decide what is going to hold your team together. Because let me tell you, it's easy when you've got 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people in your business and making sure that everyone's the right fit. But when you grow past 15, 20 or more employees, which I've gone on that growth journey myself personally, there comes a point where you don't work with everybody day to day. You don't spend time with every single person. You don't know their mum's name or how many kids they've got. You, as the CEO of the business, just need to be responsible for curating and managing and being the custodian of your brand, but internally the custodian of your culture. Super duper important. And so this is one of the ways of making sure that you foster that, is getting everyone on board with it and then making sure everyone's enforcing it as well. Until next time, catch you later, guys. Check out all the links below, which has everything you need to access our private groups if you're on G Suite, or if you're interested in working remotely. We've got 2 groups down there. And if you need anything, of course, drop us a chat and a team will be able to help you out. Cheers.